All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another one. This is the TD Markets Academy trading room on a Tuesday afternoon, 4 minutes after 2. We are live every Tuesdays and Thursdays. Thank you so much for joining us yet again on the last week of this month. All right, I do believe that next week is NFP, definitely. Yeah, so next week is the NFP week. We'll talk more about that shortly. But yeah, good afternoon, guys. Thank you so much once again for joining us. Netta, I can see you as always. Now I'm gonna do what Ash likes to do. Let us just wait for the slow pokes, to join us. Let us just give it a few more seconds for the slow pokes to join us. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. All right, I'm looking at the chat right now. Netta, once again, thank you so much for joining us. So please do let me know where you're connecting from, where you're joining us from. All right, I'm live in our Joburg office. Yeah, definitely. That is what Ash likes to say. Let us wait for the slow pokes to join us. Definitely. All right. All right, there we go. Do let me know where you're joining us from, where you are streaming this from. All right, I'm doing this live from our Joburg office. I can see PTA is in the house. Zambia, as always, is in the house. So yeah, I think we're gonna have a good time. I think we're gonna have a good session. All right, I think we're gonna have a good session. Blom, the city of roses, in the house. Bloemfontein, Boksburg in the house. All right, there we go. Cape Town as always. All right, yeah. No, I think we're ready. We've got 29 people watching us live. No, we've got 27 people watching us live. We've got 8 likes. We are on 5K subscribers. Once again, thank you so much. And yeah, we're gonna dive in, right? Pretoria joining us live. So last week we had a marathon. We had a good session last week, right? I hope you guys enjoyed it. Definitely, we saw some nice opportunities that you can take advantage of. I can see Newcastle is in the house also, right? So last week we had a good one. We're hoping for the same this week, right? Swaziland is in the house, definitely. So guys, I think let's not waste time. Let's jump straight into it, right? As always, if you guys want to open an account with us, tdmarkets.com is the website. Just go under account types and you will find different account types for you, all right, to cater for your needs. Different account types, all right, and all the information is there, right? You simply click on see more. You will get all the specs of these accounts. If you want more details or want more information, simply send us an email to care@tdmarkets.com. All right, Gap City is in the house. Limps is in the house. Limps is in the house. All right, so yeah, guys, so if you don't have an account with us, you want to open an account with us, tdmarkets.com. Under account types, we've got some different account types for you. All right. We also have platforms, MT4, MT5, some social trading in the mix. And we also have education for you. All right. All you need to do is to have an account with us and you will get access to our education. All right. Our in-house education from myself and Ash from the morning to the evening from 10. That is the beginner session. And then in the afternoon and in the evening, we've got some intermediary and advanced session. And there we go. My brother Ash is watching us live. Yes, sir. My brother Ash is watching us live. Pezulu as always. No, I think we only have one direction from here. Pezulu. That's it. Ash, hope you're having a good day wherever you are, my man. I'll catch you next week. All right. Cape Town is in the house. Definitely. All right. Let me just make sure that I'm sorted this side. All right. Yeah, no, I think we sorted. All right, let's go back. Let me do this. Great stuff. All right. So let's jump straight into it. I came across this article, guys, right? As you guys may know, on the opening bell, also in our advanced, intermediate, advanced, I always look at the crypto, right? So I came across this article, of which I think I might have spoken briefly about this, what's happening right now in our Monday's opening bell, in yesterday's opening bell, right? We spoke about the crypto, we spoke about Bitcoin, and I told you that institutions, right, have a different way of viewing Bitcoin. So we have this retail way of viewing Bitcoin. We have got this institution way of viewing Bitcoin. And here's a good example of that, right? I'm looking at, where is it? I'm looking at SFISO. When I talk about Euro USD, we'll get to that shortly, right? We'll get to that shortly. Moaba, I've been trying to get into the classes, but it always say host. Okay, Moaba, get in touch with us. Send us an email. We'll sort you out. Send us an email, Moaba. We will sort you out. All right. So before you go to currencies, guys, let's start with cryptocurrency. All right. Now, this article, you can find it on investing.com. Right. The title says Strategy acquires 3,081 Bitcoin. What does that mean? What is Strategy? Strategy is a company, right? Strategy is a company that obviously purchase Bitcoins and cryptocurrency to expand their reserve, right? I think it was a company that provided, if my research is proper, Strategy or MicroStrategy is a company that moved from providing, I think it was software or something like that, right? I think they were a software developing company, and then they moved from that to now acquiring Bitcoin, right? So they are massive. I think according to the stats, Strategy is the #1 leading Bitcoin holder, right? You've got different companies holding different amount of X amount of Bitcoin, but Strategy or MicroStrategy is #1, right? Because they've got a lot of Bitcoin they're holding in their reserve. So now we are going to dive deeper into how institutions are looking at the crypto and how retail traders are looking at the crypto. We know that there are differences between retail and institution. Retail traders, we want to take advantage of small movements, right? That is what a retail trader is. Small movements, high risk, boom, we are in and out. Institutions, they look at the broader picture, right? They are holding for probably months and years. That is how they think. So while we are selling, institutions are buying, all right? So they've been buying Bitcoin since, every time Bitcoin goes down, Strategy buys Bitcoin. And all the other investors, not investors, but companies, they acquire Bitcoin to expand their reserve. I'm going to go to the Bitcoin chart now before we move over to the currencies, because I know that you guys are looking at gold. You want to know what gold is doing. Let's first touch on Bitcoin and let's get a sense of at least how Bitcoin, how Ethereum, how Ripple could move in the future. All right. So this is what Bitcoin or how it's looking like, right? Now that article and all the other articles you're going to find on investing.com will tell you this, that whenever Bitcoin goes down like this, what do? They continue buying Bitcoin, all right? Now, this is the difference between a retail trader as well as an institutional trader. When Bitcoin goes down, retail, what do you see this? You see this as a downtrend, right? Retail, you see this as a downtrend. And therefore, what's your thought process? I'm looking for sales. Institution, they don't see this as anything but just a short-term dip within an overall bullish behavior. That's what they do, right? If we just zoom out quickly here, right? They see this as nothing but just a short-term breather within a major bullish behavior, right? A major bullish behavior. So they wouldn't want to sell. They will continue buying, right? At least that's what we've seen from these levels. they've been buying, boom. When this was going down, they've been buying, boom. Also these minor pullbacks, right? So this is going to teach you how institutions are looking at Bitcoin. You know, there's a lot of analysts that are forecasting that Bitcoin might go to 130, 140, even some of them say 200,000 Bitcoin, right? At the moment, it went to 125 or around 124, and now it has dropped down to 109, right? Now, retail, when they see this, and there's nothing wrong with that, guys. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. It depends on which structure you want to look at. You see right now how we would see this as a bearish structure. There, right? We would see this as nothing but a bearish structure. And yes, you can take advantage of this. There's nothing wrong with that. But just know that while you are selling, institutions are buying this. While you are selling, institutions are buying this. Your MicroStrategy. Let me open up another article here for you guys, all right? Just one second. I'm going to find it. There we go. Aha. So this article is the top 100 public Bitcoin treasury companies. I just want to show you guys something. Let me just plug you quickly. All right. Let me just plug you guys quickly. It's going to appear just now. There we go. So this website, right? Now what you're seeing here is the top 100 companies, public Bitcoin treasury companies, meaning companies that continue to buy Bitcoin and hold in their reserve, right? Now I just want to zoom in here and show you at least the top 3 or even the top 5, right? Now look at the top 5. Look at the top 1. Who's number 1? Strategy. Number 1, Strategy. Look how many Bitcoins they are holding. Look how many Bitcoins they are holding. More than 500,000 Bitcoin units they are holding there. That is Strategy, right? They are number 1. Look at number 2. Number 2 is Mara, right? And so forth and so on. Trump Media and Technology, they are number 8 with only 15,000, right? What does this tell you guys? Let's try to make sense of this. What does it tell you? It tells you that institutions are not looking to sell Bitcoin. They continue buying it, holding it, buying, holding, right? This article I just showed you, it got published when the 25th, which was yesterday, right? And yesterday, if you take a look at what Bitcoin has done yesterday, it's been dropping. Yesterday it was dropping, but they continue buying. So this is to show you that there's a different way in which institutions approach things, right? So, you know, in our opening bell, in our education sessions, you know, I've just been vocal about how bullish this thing is, right? Now, retail see this as a double top. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Retail see this as a double top. Institutions, they don't see any double top here. They look at the overall behavior, right? They look at the overall behavior. So looking at what's happening right now with Bitcoin, guys, right? Obviously, it was bound, looking at where it's coming from, it was bound to break this low one more time, right? To break that was going to happen, to break this low one more time. And then from there, at any point around this area, don't be surprised to see a higher low forms. So we've got a higher low here, right? Let me do this. Don't be surprised to see a higher low forms at any point around this area because it has broken this low, right? It comes from this high. It has broken this low. It might just, on the lower time frames, it might just go lower on the lower time frames. But don't be surprised when you see what looks like a channel on the 4-hour. What looks like this channel on the 4-hour. Don't be surprised when you see it break towards the upside. When is it going to do this? I don't know. We just have to wait and see. Right? Personally, I'm waiting for this. This is what I'm waiting for, personally, right? Not really interested in selling this structure, right? There are people who might sell because of this structure, right? As long as you go with the structure, whether it's a bullish structure or bearish structure, as long as you go with the structure, this is what myself and Ash always say, right? Market structure, that's king. And I'm going to show you an example on gold with market structure. It's king. You can never go wrong. Once you understand market structure, you can then build different strategies however you want. All right. We've got 50 people joining us live. Thank you so much. Continue subscribing, guys, right? We are now targeting 10K subscribers, right? By NFP. NFP is next week, Friday. So continue subscribing. Let's see if we can get to 10K. All right. So I just thought I should start here, guys, by just talking about this. Maybe you guys can check this article on investing.com. It will tell you what you need to know about what we spoke about. All right. And you can just do research here, right? Strategy continues to buy Bitcoin. This is interesting. So let's see what's going to happen in future. But I'm anticipating Bitcoin, according to at least the overall structure, for Bitcoin to continue pushing up. So this is just a short-term descending structure. I'm leaning towards more, or I'm looking at the overall structure. All right. So that is where we're starting. I'm looking at Sifiso. You say you are looking at Euro USD. All right. So I'm looking at the DXY. I'm looking at Euro USD as well. All right. So before we go to Euro USD, let's maybe look at the DXY. Look at the DXY. Done subscribing. Danko is thank you. Right. Danko is thank you. Praise. Thank you. All right. So let's have a look at the DXY, guys, before we go to Euro USD, right? Obviously, the DXY is still trading within a major descending structure, right? I'm not going to get too technical with this one, right? But there's a bigger pattern that's forming, a bigger pattern. And now DXY is trading on the lows of that bigger pattern, right? I'm not going to get too deep into it, but I just want us to focus on this piece here, this structure. So DXY is still trading within a major descending structure. And it's basically this structure here. Lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. Do you see this major structure? Obviously, in between, you've got your miniature structure, your small structures in between, right? So you will decide whether you want to trade this bigger structure, which we would anticipate at least this being a lower high, and this being a lower high, right? We'd anticipate at least price to go back to the lower low according to the structure. Now, in between, you've got this structure as well that is creating higher highs and higher lows. You see this small structure here creating higher highs and higher lows. So this is where now you need to decide. Are you going with the bigger one? Are you going with the smaller one? All right. But just know that the dominating structure will always play out. The dominant structure will always play out before anything changes. All right. So we're looking at the DXY. We are looking at this area being a possible lower high, like this one, being a possible lower high. And if there's the lower high, this was the previous lower low, price went down to the lower low. All right. So if this is the lower low, and there we've got the lower high, we'd anticipate, according to the structure, price to go down, right? Irrespective of the time frame, this is a structure that you're going to find on almost every single time frame because of the fractal nature of the market, right? Fractal nature of the market. So DXY, there's two possibilities on what DXY could do. Two possibilities, right? Now, the first possibility here is that DXY could easily complete this structure by going back down here, complete the structure. That is the first possibility, all right? The second possibility is that while the DXY is still creating the structure, there's a possibility it might push up one more time before it goes back down to complete the structure. That is another possibility, right? Either we're gonna drop from here as the first possibility just to complete this, or price will first go back and then come back down. What is the reason for price going back up before it goes down? Because it is still trading within this, right? It is still trading within this. You see that? So this gives us that possibility that price might go up one more time. So these are the two possibilities here, right? These are two possibilities. Why am I starting here? Because we're going to go to Euro USD. Euro USD is the is the inverse of what I'm showing you right now. So with the DXY at the moment, before we just in conclusion, the DXY here, it is trading in between this range. It is now within this range here, within this range, right? So you see where it is. Obviously, if it breaks above this here, then chances are we could visit that region one more time. If it breaks above that, we could visit that region one more time. If it fails to do that and it breaks below this, then we could easily go back and complete that big cycle. You see how these two possibilities are. Now, if you go to Euro USD, let's go to Euro USD. Euro USD, it's showing something that's similar to that, what we saw, but in the opposite direction. So this is how Euro USD is looking, right? Euro USD, we can see that price has been bullish, all right, has been bullish. And at the moment, this is what it's doing. It is currently, bouncing from this resistance. However, the move to the downside is not as strong as yet. What do I mean by that? I'm going to start from the daily, then we're going to go down to the 1 hour, right? On the daily time frame, I've got these arrows drawn there. Do you see how this one is also trapped inside this and this, right? This is what we see. There's a little bit of a range here, a little bit of a range, which is a little bit unpredictable as to how price is going to move within the range. So to make things very simple, right? A breakout will give you a trend. A breakout is going to give you a trend. So it will depend whether price breaks up to complete the cycle or it breaks down to expand the pattern. What do I mean by that? If from where we are right now, remember we are within the range. Let me do this. We are still inside the range. There we go. We are still inside the range. So inside this range, we might see price either breaking up or breaking down, right? So now if we get a break above, then we are looking at the possibility of this going back to this high, to this region. Maybe let me draw a line. Right, there we go. This is going to be a nice trade, about 80, 70 pips up. Right, this is the possibility we're looking at. Should price break above, then we're looking at this possibility. Right there. Only up until I would anticipate price to go up until this high. For now, only up until that high, and that's it. Boom. All right, but now we have not broken above, right? So what if then price breaks below? What if price breaks below? What possibility are we getting from there? Well, if price breaks below, it needs to overall break below this structure, right? Because we can see that we had a bounce. We had another bounce. You see this candlestick here? We had another bounce. So for as long as price does not break below this, then probabilities are high for price to still continue pushing up. But if it violates this area, it breaks below this, then probabilities are it's coming back down to this low one more time. It's coming back down to this low one more time, right? Let's do this. There we go. It's coming back down to this low one more time. So maybe just one more push, right? The reason we're looking at these two possibilities is because of where price is trading and what it's doing. It's not every time where you analyze and then you're going to get these two possibilities. There's a time where you're going to do your analysis and then you're going to just get one possibility, right? One possibility. But now in this case, we've got two. Should price drop, then it's going to expand this. I think I spoke about which pair was it? I'll remember. I think it was one of the cryptos where I spoke about, I think it was Cardano, where I said it might go down one more time on Cardano, all right? So if this drops, it might expand this structure pattern, maybe come back down here. This is going to be a good trade towards the downside. But if it breaks up, then guess what? It has broken outside of this. Then we can at least get about 50 pips back to that high there. It could even be more. All right. So Euro USD, just be patient with this one, just like gold. Gold, be patient with gold, right? It is just trying to find its feet. Just be patient with gold. So I'm looking at the daily time frame. Nothing much is happening on Euro USD. But if you go to the lower time frames, you might come across something. But on the 4 hour, the daily, nothing much is happening with Euro USD. So it's one of those where we're gonna be patient. We're just gonna be patient with it, right? Let it unfold. And then I'm looking at GBP USD there by Moaba. GBP USD, at least that one, it's a bit clearer, right? At least it's a bit clearer. So if you take a look at GBP USD, I would anticipate GBP USD to go back to this region here, right? So we have this zone here. We've got this zone here, right? You see how price is struggling to break below this zone, at least with what we see right now. Price is failing to break below the zone. Now, should price respect the zone, right, which looks like it is respecting, should price respect the zone, then we are looking at this possibility now of price going back to this region here. And then we'll see whether it breaks after that. That is something we'll see, right? Because from there, it might break and go up, or it might do this, right? But at least before that, we are looking at one more push towards the upside, right? With Euro USD, GBP USD. Let me just do this. There we go. With GBP USD. So this is what I'm looking at here. This engulfing candle, if it dropped to the lower time frame, you see how we have what looks like a continuation pattern. So let me show you guys this. So we are breaking out of this. In fact, let me just do this. Aha, there we go. So we have broken out of this minor channel, descending channel. We've broken out of this, right? Price made a new high. And then what is it doing right now? It is trying to do the exact same thing again. It is trading within this. There, right? This is just a chart pattern, guys, right? This is just a chart pattern. Nothing too fancy about this, just a chart pattern. All right. So now I'm looking at this rejection. I'm looking at this rejection here. Clearly, there is buying momentum that's taking place around this zone. So now we break this, we break out of this, then we are looking at this possibility. We are looking at this possibility. Price, it might even take us all the way back there. You see how it is? So this is a situation, guys, where this one gives us only one possibility according to the pattern. If you take a look at Euro USD and this, you'll notice that Euro USD, yes, it's doing what it's doing, but there's no pattern, like there's no immediate pattern, right? But GBP USD, there's an immediate pattern that gives us more insight on the behavior of the seller and the buyer at the moment. All right. So I would leave out Euro USD. And I would focus on GBP USD. All right. Get a break and let's get this one more leg towards the upside, taking us back there, taking us all the way there. Definitely. This one is going to be a clean one. Yeah, it's going to be a clean one. Yeah, and it's going to be a clean one. All right. So all the GBP USDs, that doesn't make sense. But yeah, so Moaba, this is what I'm looking at. This is definitely what I'm looking at. Seems like we've completed this move. Now we are trying to build momentum towards the upside, right? Maybe this coming Thursday, let's see what is going to happen there. Let's see what is going to happen there. All right. Yeah, guys, if there's anything you want me to have a look at, maybe pop it on the chat. We've got about 54 of you watching us live, 19 likes. Please subscribe, all right? Don't forget to subscribe. If there's anything you want me to have a look at, let us have a conversation around that. Pop it on the chat, right? The next one we have is it GBP NZD? Yeah, no, GBP NZD. I think there's a flag. I was looking at it actually. I was looking at it just before the session, and I think there's a flag there. Let me just open it. There we go. Boom. There we go. So GBP NZD, this is how it's looking, right? Personally, on GBP NZD, I'm looking for a sell. On GBP NZD, I'm looking for a sell, right? However, with what's currently happening right now, it seems like it's gonna break and it's gonna take us back to the high. All right, this is how GBP NZD is looking. The major trend remains bullish. The major trend remains bullish, right? There's no need for us to draw anything there. Now, within this bullish trend, we can see price is creating a pattern that's in line with the bullish trend, right? And then from here, it seems like GBP NZD is gonna end up in this region, in that region one more time. This is also an immediate pattern. There's an immediate pattern, all right? So yeah, so a break above this, a break outside of this pattern, I would anticipate it to minimum take us back to this high, right? Take us back to this high minimum. Should it break that high, then we could be going back to that high there, right? Minimum. At least this is a situation, guys, where we only have one possibility. You see that? One possibility, right? So yeah, so this is a bullish flag, a breakout, we're going back there. A breakout, we're going back there. So that's basically it. GBP NZD, that's it. That's it. All right. So yeah. So it's a pretty clean one. It's a pretty clean one. We've got GBP or NZD CAD or GBP JPY. All right. NZD CAD. Let's go. I saw a buy on NZD CAD, just a short-term buy on NZD CAD. I saw a short-term buy on NZD CAD. All right. So NZD CAD is a bit complex, guys. It's a bit complicated, right? So you see the structure. This structure is a complex. It's a complex structure. It's a complex structure, right? If you don't know what's happening here, rather leave it out. But it's a complex structure. I'm not going to get too deep into it, right? But the short-term push I'm looking at is this one here. Now, the market is trading below this area, right? That low, right? So that is the low of the overall pattern. You see this whole structure. This is the low of that overall structure. Now we are creating another low, right? So after this low, if you go to the lower time frames, let's use the 1 hour. If you go to the 1 hour, it seems like NZD CAD, it's coming back to this high. It's coming back to this high there. Just a small push up. A small push up, right? Why am I saying that, guys? Because the market is coming from a higher low. The market is coming from a higher low. Here's a higher low. There. Here's a higher low. So I'm looking at this higher low, right? We have this low down here. I'm looking at the higher low. So this move, according to structure, minimum, it's minimum, we are looking at that high there. We are looking at that high. From a higher low to that high. Even maybe give us a higher high. Could even give us a higher high. So this is the short-term push that I'm talking about. That it could take us back to that high. Yeah, I'm anticipating this move, this leg, to continue at least there. At least there, right? Unless something drastically changes this. But according to the structure, I'm anticipating that we could be going up there, right? So all you need to do is just to apply your strategy, look for opportunities, and then you're good to go. You are good to go. Yeah, anticipating one more push up. There's a bit of a reaction that's happening. I'm not sure if there's news or what. I'm not sure if there's news. Let's check. I don't think there's anything today. Yeah, there's nothing basically. There's nothing basically. All right. So yeah, so let's see what's gonna happen. This higher low, we need to go back to that higher high there. All right, there we go. And then we've got GBP JPY. GBP JPY, it has completed that setup we spoke about. So where it is right now, GBP JPY, all right, we're looking for some downside, or at least I'm looking for some downside on GBP JPY. So it has completed this move all the way there, right? Maybe you guys can watch the previous trading rooms around April where we spoke about this bullish move up until there, right? So from there, I'm looking for this now, right? Anywhere from this area, anywhere from where price is basically, right? I'm not interested in buying this, although the structure is bullish, but I'm interested in looking for this to go down, right? Because of this. I'm not going to get too deep into what this is, but whatever you do, if you're looking for buys on this one, right, it's better if this breaks to the upside, because it's rejecting this area. You see how we have a rejection. So it's better if this breaks first above, if you're looking for buys, right? But if it rejects this zone, it could possibly do this. Yeah, it was in April, right? The trading room in April. Yeah, I mean, this was a big move on GBP JPY that we spoke about up until there. So now what's going to happen there, right? Personally, I'm looking for this, right? I don't think it's ready as yet because the structure has not changed, but I'm looking for this personally, right? It could just give us one more push up again. And I'm going to continue looking for this, right? So yeah, so just holding tight on this one. All right, so let's see. GBP JPY is still there. Nothing much to do on this one except just waiting, just waiting for this to give us clear formations. Yeah, so let's see what's going to happen. There. If you take a look at gold, let's go to gold. I'm looking at gold from the daily time frame. I'm looking at the structure from the daily time frame, right? So gold, this is what's happening here. Let me do this. I'm looking at gold going back to this high first, to this high there, all right? Now, the reason for that is that gold is broken out of a pattern. So this was a pattern here. This was a pattern like this, right? So gold is broken out of that pattern. And what do we see, guys? We are seeing that gold comes back for a retest. If you study this daily structure, before we even go to the lower time frames, if you study this daily structure, you see how we had a retest there. A retest, boom, gold went up. We are looking at another retest, boom, it went up, right? So as long as we continue in this behavior, we can anticipate gold to continue pushing up. So we are on the daily time frame right now. The current daily candle, right, it's good because we have this spike to the downside, right? It's similar to this one. We've got this spike to the downside. Now the next area where we could possibly get a retest, is this area, right? If we follow the current behavior of a break retest, then there's a possibility that we are breaking out of this. The next daily candle might give us a retest and then do this. All right? Because that's how gold is trading at the moment. Yeah, so gold to go back to this high. And then from that high, if it breaks that high, then we're looking at the next high. So this is the, that first area where we would start managing the position, right? The structure is bullish, so we're looking for that. So I'm watching this on the daily time frame, right? Not really looking at this on the lower time frames, but on the 4 hour, it's still the same thing on the 4 hour. Still the same thing on the 4 hour. We are retesting this zone. That's another break and retest. There. We've got this break and retest. Right? So from here, getting those retests and looking for a continuation to the upside. Boom. Just there. Yeah, so gold, the structure on gold is pretty clear now. It's pretty clear. All right. USD JPY. USD JPY, be patient with it, right? It's not moving. It's not doing anything. Just be patient with it. This is what's happening with USD JPY. Look at this. It's trapped inside this. It's trapped inside this. Right? It's really not moving. So just be patient with it. Right? It might go up, it might go down. Just be a little bit patient with it, right? The structure is bullish though, but what's happening here, just be a little bit patient. So this one, there's pretty much nothing we can do on USD JPY because it's just ranging. Unless you are looking at the extremely lower time frames, extreme shorter time frames, like your 15, 30 minutes. Let's see, 15 minutes. Wait, let me do this. Yeah, I mean, let's have a look at this. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing much that's happening here. Nothing much is happening here, right? I'm seeing a flag. I'm seeing a flag and I'm seeing one more push, right? A breakout, one more push up here, right? But overall, yeah, no, it's this another situation where we need to just wait a little bit. Wait a little bit. A little bit, right? Maybe a break out of this, which might be similar to this one. If you guys remember this one, remember on the marathon, we saw this, right? So we got the break. Where did the price go? It went back to this high. Went back to this high, right? Maybe also here getting a break out of this, which could lead us to this high for now. And then we'll see what's going to happen after that. Yeah. But overall, it's still within a range. But on the shorter time frames, at least seems like you've got a pattern that we can use, you know, that we can use. Yeah, a break, then taking us back there. All right, so that's USD JPY, at least on the lower time frames. We'll see what will happen once price reaches that area. We'll see what will happen. Yeah, we'll see what will happen. All right, so we've already gone over gold. Anybody looking for gold, please just rewind. We've already gone over gold. CAD JPY, looking for a push up on CAD JPY. All right, so CAD JPY, nothing has changed, guys, on this one. It's still the same. What is happening right now is we are trading within, if you look at the structure, if you look at this structure here, right, you will notice that at the moment, the market is trading within the correction of the structure, right? Obviously, if you go to the lower time frames, you might be seeing this structure, which is a little bit bearish, right? You might be seeing this. But this, if you look at the bigger structure I just showed you, it's just a correction of that bigger structure. So therefore, I'm looking for a break towards the upside. I'm looking for a break towards the upside, right? It's something like this. Let me show you. It's this here. You see what happened here? Here, this is exactly the same. You see what happened here? Price gave us a higher high. Where was a higher high? Here was a higher high. There, right? And then it went down. It created this pattern, right? This is a descending pattern. Now, a descending pattern, within a correction, it's an indication that momentum is dying out, especially if price started to go down with this amount of volume towards the downside. Look at how aggressive the market went down and then it started to do this. What happened after that? Look at how aggressive the breakout is. So we're seeing something similar where price went down aggressively and now it's changing. Look at how we have a lot of pullbacks now. So I'm anticipating an aggressive break, which I'll be looking at this high for price to go back to this high one more time, right? These things repeat themselves. These patterns, formations, repeat themselves over and over and over and over again. So I'm not interested in selling this structure. You see this descending structure, right? There are people who might continue selling this. And once price breaks out, then what do? They stop selling. They are looking for this move now. You see how it is? So yeah, so I'm looking at this bigger structure, at least this big one. I'm looking at this bigger structure. All right. And I'm looking for a break to the upside. There. Right. So I'm just going to wait for this to complete, and then boom. Once it breaks, then gonna keep an eye. So CAT JPY, yeah, this is looking at the structure. All right, GBP USD, we've already gone through that. So gold and GBP USD, maybe if you guys can just rewind a little bit. Euro NZD, it's coming from the top, right? This is Euro NZD. You see where it is right now. Let me go to the daily. You see how it's going down from the top, right? So this one, the cycle is done. This move is complete. So where it is right now, right? This might turn into a resistance and we might see it dropping, or it might just break. This is another situation, guys, right? According to this price action, where you've got two possibilities. There's a possibility that this whole area here could turn into a resistance. And then if it does that, then we are gonna expect a break, for price to drop, all right? But at the same time, this can easily break and go up, right? This is another situation where we've got these two possibilities. Sometimes it is like that. But if you were looking at this trend, right, you would have just looked at one possibility. And that possibility is for price to do what? To continue going up. So now we're there, we've got two possibilities, all right? So yeah, we just need to wait and see what's going to happen. I don't see anything much on this one. Let me do this. Yeah, I just want to clear all of this. Yeah, price action is, especially on the lower time frames, right? We are creating a descending structure on the lower time frame. Now, this is the situation now. We are within this channel, right? So obviously, if price breaks out of this, then we are looking to resume the momentum. But if price is still trading within this channel, then it will continue going down to the low. This is not a setup I would be crazy about, right? But let's see what's going to happen, right? Is this going to continue in this descending structure, or is it going to break out? Yeah, so this one, yeah, nothing much is happening here. Nothing much is happening here. Yeah, nothing much is happening here. All right, so let's see what's going to happen. I think let it develop, right? Let it develop further. But as it is now, let it develop further. So just give it maybe 2 days. 2 days. Wait for this daily candlestick to close. And we'll take it from there. We'll take it from there. Yeah, I would wait for this daily candlestick to close. Right? Waiting for it to close. If it closes like this, that means the market is retesting this zone here. We could be getting one more push lower. Yeah, one more push lower. So that is Euro NZD. Not proper. Just gonna wait for it. All right. We've already gone over gold. Maybe just rewind a little bit. German 30. My analysis remains the same. All right. I'm bullish on that one. German 30, I'm bullish. Right. I remember we spoke about German 30 when it was, I think it was pushing down, and we spoke about this push up, and then an update was this is gonna push up again. It went up. So what is happening now, right? This you see this move, guys, from this low, this move to the upside is not complete. It's not done, especially if you have this as your higher high and this as your higher low, right? This is the bigger structure. This was the previous higher high, and here we are at a higher low, right? So you see the structure, right? So this move here that you see is the same as this move. It's an impulse wave. You've got your impulse wave. So this impulse wave is not done according to structure. We're looking for this to go back to that high. You see how it is. So now these corrections that are forming, maybe let me go to the 1 hour. There we go, proper stuff. So these corrections that are forming, it's just a matter of time before price breaks out and continues trading higher. Just a matter of time. Right? Yeah, this one, it's even an ugly one. Yeah. So it's just a matter of time before price breaks out. So it might continue doing this, but notice overall how it is moving overall. And then before you know it, boom, you're going to get a break. All right. So yeah, so this one, my analysis remains the same. It is still bullish. We anticipate this whole move up to complete. You see that? Yeah. So that higher high there. US 30 and NASDAQ. Let's see. Where are they? I've got US 30 and NASDAQ open here. If I can just find it, there we go. NASDAQ, boom. All right. So personally on NASDAQ, let me just remove this Fibonacci. Right. So personally on NASDAQ, I'm anticipating NASDAQ at some point to come back and retest this zone here at some point. So what is happening here is price broke out of this, right? So here I'm anticipating the break and for the market to follow through with the retest. So this is just your simple break and retest of structure. So when exactly is that, will that happen? I'm not sure, but I'm looking at this. So I've got this channel drawn like this, right? So I'm just watching this channel. Right? So now since I'm anticipating the market to come back and retest this zone, obviously I'm looking for the break of the channel, right? If I see a break of this channel, then I know we are most probably coming back to retest this, right? But in the meantime, this can easily continue moving in this fashion until maybe a break happens, right? So personally, I'm watching out for this, right? Personally, right? But the structure is still bullish. So if the structure is bullish, it can continue pushing higher. You see how it is? So now we've got the following now. We've got the following. Definitely. In the meantime. Yes. So, yeah. So let's see what's going to, you see this resistance I've drawn here. If price rejects this resistance, it's going to give us a lower high. Then from there, we are looking for price to go down. If it rejects, but if price breaks above this, then that means the structure is still intact, right? Then we can look at this pushing back to that high there, right? Pushing back to that high. So it will depend on how exactly will price behave around this. Are we getting a break above? If you get a break above, then probabilities are we are going back to that high. But if all of a sudden this rejects and then we start to see momentum towards the downside, then we could easily break out of that. So we need a break above this if we are looking for longs on this. We need a break above this. All right. So yeah, so that is how Nasdaq is looking at the moment. Right. Yeah. Let's see on Thursday. If you look at US 30, I think US 30 just broke out of, US 30, where is it? Yeah, US 30 just broke out. Yeah, there we go. So US 30, this one is going to be a very simple one, right? This one is going to be a very simple one. Price broke. We are looking for a retest and a continuation. That's it. Price broke. Looking for a retest and a continuation. That's it. The fact that price broke to the upside, it means there's a lot of buying momentum, right? There's a lot of bullish momentum. Look at how many times price bounced. You see that? And then it managed to break towards the upside. What does this mean? It means, the bulls are still in control of this. So now, just looking for a retest, maybe a 61.8 pullback, and a continuation towards the upside. Right. Whatever happens here, looking for price to reject. Right. So this one, the structure is clear. So this is with this one, we only have one possibility here, right? It's not the two possibilities we saw. Just one solid possibility on this one. One solid possibility. Yeah, one solid possibility. Get a retest and then a continuation higher. All right. So GBP USD, that you do that one. Yeah, just rewind. I did GBP USD, rewind, you'll find it. It was one of the first ones. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, this is how things are looking. Looking at the structure, how we can develop trade ideas out of the current structure. So this is how things are looking. We went from the crypto to the FX to the indices to the commodities. All right. So yeah, I hope this, you guys enjoyed. I hope it's clear. Please subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. We've got 37 watching us live, 22 likes so far. Thank you so much. All right. And yeah, we appreciate it. All right. So we have come towards the end of our session. We'll be back again on Thursday. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Let's see how the market will develop, right? Let's see how the market will move. But I hope you guys enjoyed. All right. Have a good one, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day, your afternoon. Good luck and cheers. I'll catch you guys next time.